JJ McCarthy is many things. A three-time Big Ten champion, a three-time playoff participant, a Rose Bowl champion, and a national champion, or a few of them. However, is he a first-round pick? Well, that is a question that does have a lot of nuance. And today I'm going to take you through my process of scouting a whole player by basically spending an hour and a half breaking down film with you. So without further ado, I'd like to say hello and welcome to the JSA studio. I'm your host, as always, Nathan, and today we're going to be breaking down the JJ McCarthy 2023 season and trying to figure out if he is a first-round pick. But before we actually jump into the film breakdown segment of this video, I am going to ask you to like the video and subscribe. And if you end up enjoying it, share it online with your friends. I go very in-depth in this video. I put a lot of work into it, and it would mean a whole lot if you did those things for me. The final thing I need to talk to you about is the format of this video. I'm going to go through not every game, but a lot of them in a somewhat chronological order. I actually made a mistake in this video. I recorded the Nebraska segment before the Rutgers segment, so those are going to be out of order, but the rest of it is going to be in chronological order. We are going to start with ECU and end with Washington. And I do encourage you to watch the whole thing, because at the end of the video, I do reference stuff at the beginning of the video, because one of the narratives surrounding JJ McCarthy is how he improved greatly throughout the season. So now, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the film. So on this play right here, we're going to see a good rep from JJ McCarthy in terms of keeping his eyes downfield while avoiding the rush and finding somebody that comes open late into the route. At the top of the screen, you're going to see a little dig out of Cornelius Johnson here and a curl out of Roman Wilson. At the bottom of the screen, you're going to see number 3 run a flag route like this, and you're going to see Colston Loveland run a little out route. So you got a smash concept at the top and a dig concept over here. So we're going to go ahead and let it play. So there's running a little stunt here on the defensive line. This guy is going to split it. Miles Hitton got beat. Surprise, surprise. This is very early on in the season. They hadn't figured out their tackle situation. You're going to see Roman Wilson start to break open here a little bit. JJ McCarthy still has his eyes down the field. Look where his head's at. See where he's looking? He's actually looking straight ahead, but he's coming back over to Roman Wilson, and he's going to see him break open late right there. He's going to shuffle, throw the ball down the field. I have no clue if he was actually beyond the line of scrimmage or not. They reviewed it. The play stood. Touchdown, Michigan. This is a good rep from him in terms of upside sort of things that you see out of him. He does keep his eyes downfield, and he does find somebody late in the route. He avoids the rush, which he's tremendously inconsistent at doing, especially when there's pressure up the middle. But this time it was a good rep, so he avoided the rush, stepped up, and delivered a strike for a touchdown. This was a good rep out of him, and it shows you what he could potentially do at the next level as a creator. On this play right here, we're going to see JJ McCarthy throw a ball to Cornelius Johnson over the middle of the field. And the ball placement on this pass is horrendous. And JJ McCarthy does not have great ball placement. It's not horrible, but it's absolutely something that he will definitely need to improve upon if he is going to be a starting caliber player at the next level. So I'm going to go ahead and run a play here. At the top of the screen, you're going to see Roman Wilson and Cornelius Johnson. They're going to run a little dig concept. Michigan does run this quite a bit. And Cornelius Johnson is going to break in. So JJ McCarthy, right at the release point, let's see how he looks in terms of formation here, or footwork here. He's a little bit spread out. This is something he does consistently. You see the ball is back a little bit too far, and he is going to put damn near everything that he has into this ball and when I'm talking about a lack of arm strength with him, which is going to be a theme of this video, this is kind of what I mean. Look at how hard he throws this football. He puts 95% of everything he's got into this ball, and it's not moving great. Now, obviously, first thing, all 6'3" of Cornelius Johnson has got to jump up into the air in order to get this pass. This is not very well located. Against a better team, this is what we refer to as a hospital ball. He's going to get his wide receiver in trouble throwing like this. And more importantly, if Cornelius Johnson wasn't 6'3", this has a chance to just be an overthrow, maybe a tip, maybe an interception, again, against a better team. And we don't really have a whole lot of film of JJ McCarthy going against better teams. So we don't really know if he can throw the football like that. Pretty much the only time he was asked to throw the football was against Alabama. And we'll get to the Alabama tape because it is, I think, good tape for JJ McCarthy. But you have to understand there's not a whole lot to go off of for him in terms of high-level NFL throws because he just flat out was not asked to make those kinds of plays. This right here is another example of JJ McCarthy's lack of arm strength. Like, his arm's not that bad, but it's not good. I think for the NFL, I would describe it as below average. At the college level, I would describe it as average. The top of the screen, you can only really see his feet here, but you're going to see this wide receiver go down the field and run a little outbreaking comebacker sort of route, and this ball is just going to not get there very quickly. Now, listen, it's good enough, and ECU is horrible, so the corner is not going to react to the ball at all. He's playing horrible technique, as well, and he's going to throw this ball. Just look at the ball. The ball just is dead. It has no life to it whatsoever, and I'm going to play it in full speed here so that you can see what I actually mean. Look at it. There's no life on that. There's no life on that. Go watch Michael Penix or Bo Nix, who doesn't have a great arm, or Caleb Williams, Drake May. And there is a stark difference between JJ McCarthy throwing the football and those guys throwing the football. So to claim that he has good arm strength is not in line with reality. Okay? His arm bad? No. Is it a liability at the next level? No. Is he going to be able to make throws that offenses are going to ask of him? No. There are going to be some plays and some concepts that at the NFL level are off limits to him because of the lack of arm strength. And that is an important factor when discussing how a quarterback rates in the draft. So this is the last play from ECU that we're going to watch from JJ McCarthy here. And what you see on this play is a tremendously good rep out of JJ McCarthy. He's got excellent timing. His form and technique is solid, and he also manipulates the defense a little bit with his eyes. Basically, they're going to send Cornelius Johnson here in motion as a little disguise to confuse this guy, and then Roman Wilson is going to run a little flag route to the corner, and JJ McCarthy is going to fit it between two defenders and put it far away from both of them to a place where only Roman Wilson is going to be able to catch the football. And you see right here, does a little fake like he's going to throw it to Cornelius Johnson. You could see the hands off the ball, which is, some would say poor technique. I would say a lot of defensive backs are trained for the second that the left hand, or the right hand if you're left-handed, comes off the ball, then you start to break. So I would say that this is actually good technique from JJ McCarthy, especially considering that his offensive line is very, very good. So he's going to fake like he's throwing it to Cornelius Johnson, move back to Roman Wilson, moves the defender 24 down here just enough to make this throw a little bit easier. If he doesn't move 24, he's probably another step or two right here, and he's got a chance to either jump up and swat the ball or hit Roman Wilson to try to jar it loose. So even though 24 didn't fully bite on it, he slowed down enough for this excellently placed football right up here. That's the place where only Roman Wilson can get it. There's no danger of an interception on this play right here. If he doesn't make that little fake there, 24 doesn't hesitate, and this potentially becomes an incompletion, either through him jumping up to swat the ball away or being in position to hit Roman Wilson on the way down. Now, as we move on to the much dreaded Bowling Green game, we're going to talk about a lot of the throws that he made in this game. But here, we're actually going to talk about a run that JJ McCarthy makes, because he is a very, very good athlete, and he is absolutely someone who, even at the next level, you're going to be able to design runs for. He is someone whose legs will be a factor at the next level. And in the modern NFL, I would consider that almost a requirement. Not quite there, but you need to be able to move at a minimum. But if you can run the football, it just helps the offense so much. So in this play right here, you're going to see Blake Corum run over here. They're doing a little read option stuff. They're going to send Roman Wilson on a motion. He's going to become a blocker, and it is going to have just end up being a nice little gain of like 7 or 8 yards or something like that. He is going to read the defensive end at the bottom of the screen, right above the scoreboard. He stays put, does not come up the field. So JJ McCarthy is going to have the ability to come around out over here and get the edge, which he does. Roman Wilson isn't going to block all that great. The linebacker is actually going to be able to get there with a little bit of speed, and JJ McCarthy is going to pick up a nice little gain of 8 yards. But we go back in time here. He's fast. Like, he's legit fast. He's probably a high 4.4 guy, in my opinion. And the style in which he runs is weird, because I would describe him as slippery almost. Like, a lot of the times guys just kind of slip off of him. Like, he's not taking big hits almost ever, really, but he also just has this great ability to just break through tackles, which is kind of weird, because you look at his frame and you're like, this isn't a guy that's breaking tackles, but he is. So when you watch him run the football, he is someone who could maybe get a little bit physical at the next level. Now, you're not, obviously, you don't want the quarterback to be trucking people unless you're Josh Allen and you're 6'5" and 240 pounds and still probably have 4.5 speed. JJ McCarthy isn't that, but he is someone who could potentially break a tackle if asked to do that, or if he decides to not slide to get a first down or something like that. So this play right here is his first of 3 interceptions that he's going to have against Bowling Green. And this play is the epitome of the area that JJ McCarthy needs to improve upon the most. And that is decision-making when the first read isn't there. So on this play right here, they're sending Colston Loveland in motion. He's going to run a little route like this. AJ Barner is right here. He's going to run a little curl and then kind of drift to the sideline, because that's what they teach you to do. And then Roman Wilson is coming across over the middle of the field. Now, I think JJ McCarthy predetermined who he was going to throw this ball to. I think he decided at the snap that I'm going to throw this to Roman Wilson. And I'm going to show you why here in a second. So Colston Loveland's coming across in motion. Snap the ball. Look where his eyes are. He's starting over here. He's looking at this. And he's like, for whatever reason, even though he's going to break open here in a second, he's like, I don't like it. So we're going to move my eyes immediately, way too soon. He hasn't even had enough time. Like, we're half a second into the snap. he hasn't even had enough time to actually read this. If his eyes are still over here, he will see that Colston Loveland is A, open, and B, has a really good chance to just walk into the end zone. Now, he's probably going to be able to make contact beforehand, but Colston Loveland's 6'5" and 240 pounds. If he falls forward, it's a touchdown. So he comes off of this way too soon and then moves his eyes to Roman Wilson because he's like, I trust Roman Wilson more than everybody else. This is the red zone. We don't need a touchdown. We're playing Bowling Green, but I would like to get a touchdown. But then after that, he recognizes it's not open. It's not open here. You don't throw it here. And the reason you don't throw it here is because just off the screen, right over here, there's a defender. And the reason you don't throw it is because this defender over here is going to come off the ball and pick it off because they're playing zone. And he should be able to tell that they're playing zone because everybody's looking at him. That is something that JJ McCarthy also struggles with, is identifying after the snap what the defense is, man or zone. And he understands that. He knows, like, oh, I can't really throw this, but the protection is good, so I'm going to hold on to the ball, and then I'm going to throw it. And then he decides to throw the ball, and it's just never a good idea. This guy right here is going to come over here and pick it off. He's got to understand that it's not man coverage and that he's going to come over here and make a play on the ball. Not only that, but if he is going to throw this ball, it needs to be like to the pylon or over here somewhere. And so this is a bad decision to throw the football. And more than that, he doesn't understand what the coverage is. He doesn't know that it's in zone. And it's bad placement on a bad decision. And when that happens, it leads to interceptions and bad plays in general. So he's going to pick it off, take a knee instantly. Bowling Green has the ball at the 20-yard line. So this is the second interception from JJ McCarthy here. So you have to understand, the score for this game is 6-7. Michigan is the number 2 team in the country, and they are playing Bowling Green. So JJ McCarthy is saying this is halfway through the second quarter, and we're up by 1 point against Bowling Green. So we need to make a play. And that is when he gets in trouble. When he decides very suddenly and very rapidly that a play needs to be made in the passing game. So this one is a little bit more understandable than the first pick. The first pick was just horrible all around. There's basically nothing excusable about it. This one is, I understand what he's doing here. Okay, like I get it at least. He's going to fake the pass over here to Donovan Edwards, and then he's going to try to come over the middle. But here, he sees the pocket is kind of collapsing a little bit. They actually designed a pretty good blitz on this play here, and he got blocked by Corum, but he's still going to be supplying pressure. And JJ McCarthy under pressure is not great. He doesn't have any obvious route to escape. He can't backtrack because 11 is right here. And he can't step forward, really, because then he's going to come down. And he can't try to go over here because then he's going to get sandwiched. So he decides that I just need to throw the ball up, make a play. And he's just going to chuck it. So I understand this. Because he's under pressure. He's like, I got to get rid of the ball. So I get it. At least I understand that somewhat, okay? That being said, this is a very, very bad pass in terms of location, in terms of decision. But at least he's under pressure, so I can kind of understand what he was thinking. He's like, this play is designed to go here. I'm going to trust the offensive coordinator, and we're going to throw the ball there for no reason. And it's intercepted. It's a tremendously bad pass. And I'm not even really sure he was looking at where he was throwing the football here. So this is all around very bad, just to be honest with you. It's a bad pass, a bad decision. He should have either checked it down or understood what the coverage was and realized where he had to go to the ball with based off of the coverage. Or he could have just thrown it at Donovan Edwards' feet or somebody else's feet. I don't know, but this is not a very good play out of him at all. And this is his worst film. His worst film of really, I think, probably his entire career is this Bowling Green game. And this is the bottom of the barrel. So we're going to be more negative on this than we are in other aspects of this video. And we are kind of opening up relatively negative. I understand that. But we're going to get to the good shit later. All right? I promise. We're going to come back around and talk about why some people see him as a first-round pick. I promise. But for right now, we're going to stick with Bowling Green, and we're going to stick with the criticisms for a little bit. So this next play is a good throw. This is one of the few good throws that JJ McCarthy had in this game, and I do want to talk about it because it does show that occasionally he does understand how to read the play a little bit and understand what the defensive coverage is. On this play, you're going to have Colston Loveland run a little drag and up. This is a play that takes a long time to develop, so you have to trust the offensive line. And Michigan had one of the best offensive lines in the country, not necessarily early on in the season because they had their right tackle, future NFL guard, playing left tackle, and they had a not very good right tackle playing right tackle who is much better at left tackle. But that is going to be the play design here. Cornelius Johnson at the bottom of the screen is just going to run a little clear out route in order to get Colston Loveland open. So right here, the play action is going to cause the defender right here, who would hypothetically be in the bump coverage, this guy right here, would hypothetically be in the bump coverage for Colston Loveland. But he's going to bite on the play action. JJ is looking right at him. He knows exactly what's going on this play right here. And he knows that it's going to be there. So I just got to set my feet, step up, does a little shuffle, and then chucks the ball. This is good ball placement, too, as well. He's going to put it where Colston Loveland can do it. Now, hypothetically, a better ball placement would have been able to have him run up the field and maybe make this guy miss or run through the tackle or do something. But this isn't bad ball placement by any means. And then Colston Loveland's going to jump up, catch it, and first down. This is a good play. And a nice response because JJ's last two throws, I believe, at this point were both interceptions. So he's responding a little bit here. It was a good play design. They knew the linebacker, who was not very good, number 8, he plays for Bowling Green. They knew that he was going to jump on the route on the play action, and then they drew up a play where JJ would be able to deliver a strike. This is good game planning and good execution by JJ McCarthy. This one is a touchdown for JJ McCarthy on a true deep shot, which is not something we see Michigan do a whole lot. They don't throw a whole lot of true deep shots, and JJ McCarthy isn't very good at throwing these passes. But even though this is a completed pass for a touchdown, this is maybe the worst throw that he had today. It's not, but it had the third interception that he's going to throw, which is not this play. Not happened, this probably would have been his worst decision and worst throw. And again, I want to reiterate, this is the bottom of the barrel. This is as bad as it gets for this game. And we're going to get to the more positive stuff. That's later on. So, on this play, it's going to be a flea flicker. So, this is a trick play that Michigan runs a whole lot. He's going to turn around, hand the ball off to Blake Corum. Blake Corum's going to go forward, throw the ball back to JJ McCarthy here. And then they're going to try to hit Cornelius Johnson at the bottom of the screen, who is running downfield. They're going to snap the ball. Eventually. All right, there we go. Just skip forward a little bit. Hands the ball off to Blake Corum. Chucks it back to JJ McCarthy. He's going to set his feet and just decide, fuck it. I'm going to sling it. Nobody's open, but I'm going to throw it anyway. And we're going to see here in a minute why he shouldn't do that. See right here? If this DB is worth a goddamn thing, he's going to pick this ball off. This guy right here. But they're playing Bowling Green. So he's not going to pick the ball off. And it's going to bounce into the air. Very luckily, he's going to slap it to himself a couple of times. And Cornelius Johnson is going to walk into the end zone. on one of the luckiest plays I've ever seen. This might be the luckiest play that any quarterback has in this draft class. I can't remember another one off the top of my head right now, but this is pure luck. It was a bad decision that statistically is not going to be looked at as a bad decision. Instead of either taking a stack, trying to get the edge and maybe make a play, which he's probably not going to be able to do, or doing what he should do, throw it away, I'm instead going to just chuck the ball downfield and hope somebody comes up with it that's wearing a blue jersey. And hypothetically, if he had driven this ball and left it short, it could have been a good play. But it wasn't. Instead, he just threw it up there and decided to throw an interception again. There is nothing about this play that is excusable. Literally nothing. It was a bad decision in the beginning, which stemmed from a lack of understanding, A, the defense, and B, the play call, and what you should do if you do get instant pressure and they do send 3 extra linemen, or 3 extra blitzers, so you don't have enough linemen to cover the blitz. He didn't understand what to do when that happened, panicked, ran outside, and then made a poor decision when running outside of the pocket. You either throw it away, make a better throw, which is difficult to do when you're on the run, or just take the L and run out of bounds. And you've got 3rd and long, but you're playing Bowling Green, so you might be able to pick it up. This is bad just all around. This is horrendous levels of quarterbacking play here. This is the bottom of the barrel. This is as bad as it gets. The rest of this video is going to be much more positive for JJ McCarthy. But this right here is just the bad that we had to get through first. So we're going to move on now to Nebraska. But this was rough. This film was rough. Even the plays that I didn't show you. He had a couple of good plays here and there, but that was really, I think, due to the play calling and Sharon more than it was JJ McCarthy. And there were times where the opposite was true, and we're going to talk about those times. Specifically, there was a couple of plays against Nebraska where JJ McCarthy made Sharon Moore look good. And Ohio State. There was a couple of plays against Ohio State where that happened as well. So we're going to talk about those, but we needed to talk about the bad. Not necessarily first. I just decided I was going to go in chronological order here. But this was the bad. And we do need to talk about that because that is a big deal. So we're going to move on now to Nebraska. But this was as bad as it gets. So we've seen the worst and we haven't seen the best. So that's a good thing. But we're going to move on now. So this play right here, I'm not sure if it's an RPO or a hard play action, but what you're going to see here is JJ McCarthy is going to fake the ball to Khalil Mullings, and then he's going to rocket whip it out here to Donovan Edwards in just like a little flat. And it's not going to be a great pass. Like, he completes it, but a better pass here, and Donovan Edwards is set up in a better position in order to run after the catch. So we're going to see him snap the ball here in a moment. Eventually, I didn't realize so much time had started. Here we go. There's the hard play action. They're going to have tight end come back over here as well. Everybody's going to bite on it because it actually was an RPO. He's going to pull the ball out, throw it on a little out route to Donovan Edwards, and he throws it on the inside shoulder. Kind of bad throw, to be honest with you. Donovan Edwards going to catch it, fall down onto the ground. A better pass. Donovan's got a chance to make this DB miss, pick up some more yards. Donovan Edwards is both big and elusive, so he can run through a guy or juke him and run out of a guy. So you'd like that to be a better pass, but it doesn't particularly matter all that much. It was a good read. It was the correct read on this play and a good decision to get the ball out quickly. A little bit of a better pass, and it's a better play. On this play right here, JJ McCarthy is going to hit the tight end on a little dig route over the middle. And what really is impressive about this play right here is 3rd and 7. He knows that he's got to pick up the first down, which he was very good in 3rd down situations this year. Underrated thing that people don't talk about. Very good in 3rd down situations this year. Nebraska is showing blitz at the snap, and we're going to start it here. And JJ McCarthy is going to have a little motion. Still reading blitz. He looks like it's man-to-man. You're going to see, I think it's Barner, the tight end, run that little dig over the middle. And we are going to stop it right here, and I'm going to inch this forward frame by frame here to get to, actually back one, to this frame right here. So when you are a quarterback, there's two telltale signs of being able to put all that you have on a pass and still have it be accurate. Okay? Number one, your back foot is in line with the ball. That line's not straight. If I was capable of drawing a straight line, that'd be right there. And number two is that the arm is slightly angled. So the arm is not straight like this. The arm is a little bit like this, because that way you can get your bicep and your tricep onto the ball. So, or into the power of the play. And JJ McCarthy does this on this play pretty well. He is a little bit inconsistent. Sometimes his arm extends back a little bit too much and the ball gets behind his foot, and that causes him to lose a little oomph on the ball. And he just doesn't have the arm talent for those types of plays to not lose a lot. And here, though, however, he is going to get everything that he has on it. It's going to be a very good pass. And, I mean, hypothetically, he could have put it a little bit over the middle. I think it has more to do with the timing than anything. I think he might have thrown it just a half of a heartbeat too late, but it is what it is. It's a completed pass to A.J. Barner, who's going to get drafted on day 2 of this upcoming NFL draft. And it's a very good play that shows that J.J. McCarthy, when he plays with really good technique, which he does most of the time, can put enough on the ball to get it there quickly. And that is going to be important. His technique is going to be important, because when you don't have that elite arm strength, the technique is what is going to allow you to make those tight window throws. And this wasn't particularly a tight window sort of throw, but it is an example of him being able to do that, being able to force a ball into a tight window rather, because of the footwork. On this play right here, this is another great example of not only JJ McCarthy making Sharon Moore correct in terms of the play call by delivering a damn near perfect pass here, but also it's a good example of his footwork and how sometimes it's just absolutely excellent. So you're going to have Cornelius Johnson here at the top. You can only see his feet, but we're going to have him. He's going to come downfield and run a little dig route, but way further down the field. It's going to be like 25 yards down the field. Roman Wilson is just going to run a little, flat route on the out route here. But this is going to be a flea flicker play. So he's going to hand the ball off to Blake Corum. Blake Corum's going to take the ball, go back, toss it back to JJ. And I'm just going to go ahead and start the play here. With excellent technique, JJ McCarthy is going to deliver a pass that, if it isn't perfect, there's a good chance that it is either knocked down or intercepted. So he's going to set his feet. He's got time. Now he's going to look to throw. So here we are, not at the release point just yet. There we go, right here. So let's look at his thing here, just like I said last time. Where's his back foot? Right here. We draw a line up into the field. He's a little bit behind his foot. Doesn't matter so much because the arm angle is good. You'd like the foot to maybe just be a little bit back right here. That would really allow him to get that power into it, get his hips into it. But he's going to follow through with the good technique and deliver an absolute strike with damn near perfect location to Cornelius Johnson. Cornelius Johnson caught this ball right in his stomach. And if we back up a little bit here, actually I've got to do this before I can do that. And if we back up a little bit here, we can see it is a little bit blurry because of the motion blur. But we can see the defender has got his arm in there trying to knock the ball out. But it's delivered right into his stomach right here. And he can't knock the ball out. This is a very accurate pass. It's a very good throw. And it's a strike, which is important in this kind of throw. Because this is a kind of throw where Nebraska covered this pretty well. JJ had to make a play here. And it wasn't a particularly great play call on 2nd and 7. You know, you're dialing up a shot play. You'd like it to be on like 2nd and 2 or 3. I don't necessarily love the play call, but JJ made Sharon Moore here correct by delivering a damn near perfect pass. This play right here, again, it's just another good example of JJ's athleticism. On this play right here, he's going to see the right half of this offensive line. He's going to see the C part. He's going to recognize that there's nobody here, and he's going to blitz into the end zone. Just take off running. So we're going to go ahead and start it here. JJ will snap it. Nebraska is blitzing. It looks like 2 extra people, and 1 is actually going to be able to get in relatively free. And it's man coverage. And that means if the offensive line blocks good enough, which they do on this play. I mean, look at this. Nobody's anywhere near him. This is excellent pass blocking by this offensive line. And JJ's just going to take off. It's 2nd 1. I can get to first down. And now, because it's man coverage, there's nobody in the middle of the field. And JJ McCarthy is going to walk into the end zone because he is the kind of athlete and runner of the football that can do that, even at the next level. Again, this is just a really good example of JJ McCarthy noticing the C part and then just taking off. Didn't get to see it later on in the season because he did hurt his ankle against Penn State, which is film we're not going to be covering because there's only like 9 plays of him throwing the football in that game, so we're not going to talk about it. But he does have the ability to scramble and potentially exploit a defense on an all-out blitz and house the football. So this play right here is sort of the first instance of seeing from JJ McCarthy what we refer to as happy feet. And this is a problem with him. He does sometimes, when the path isn't clear for him to just be able to take off and run or extend the play or to do whatever he needs to do, this is something that can happen to him. So we're going to start the play here. JJ McCarthy is going to look. Nothing is open right away. It's good coverage. They're playing a man on a play designed to deal with zone coverages. And now he knows nothing open, and look where his eyes are, real quick. His eyes are no longer looking downfield despite him having 3 yards of clearance. Now he's looking here, and he's going to come back and he's going to look over here. And hypothetically, you shouldn't be doing that. But you see here, he's going to do that. He's going to get a little bit of happy feet here. That was actually a little bit early on. If we move backwards a little bit, you're going to see him shuffle the feet a whole bunch when he doesn't need to. Right here. Just going to shuffle the feet a whole bunch. Never really sets his feet to make a throw or do anything. Comes over here, throws off the back foot, delivers, like 15 yards, a fairly accurate pass. Roman Wilson catches it and goes out of bounds. But that is a problem that JJ has. If the offensive line does not give him a clear and easy path to escape right away, he doesn't particularly know what to do. And against better teams later on in the year, that's going to get him in trouble sometimes. And he's going to take some sacks that he doesn't need to take. This play right here is the best play that JJ McCarthy makes all season. On this play, he's going to get basically instant pressure because his left tackle, Adarius Henderson, who's honestly pretty good as a pass protector, as a tackle, he's going to be a guard at the next level. But as a pass protector, he's okay. But he's going to get beat on a little inside move here by this Nebraska defensive lineman who's actually quite good himself. But he's going to get instant pressure, pretty much. And he's going to make the defensive lineman miss, roll out to his left, and find a receiver in the back of the end zone and make just an absolutely outstanding throw. So there's the pressure right here. JJ McCarthy is going to recognize it, realizes that he doesn't particularly have anybody that he can throw the ball to right now. So he's going to spin out athlete the defensive lineman to the sideline. A little careless with the ball here, but it is what it is. Doesn't matter that much. Now he's going to get pretty much all of his momentum going forward, a little bit to the left here. He's pulling himself just a tad bit to the left, but pretty much all of his momentum is going forward here. And look where he is on the field. He's basically halfway between the numbers right here and the sideline down here. And that's going to be important because I'm going to show you where the ball ends up in the end zone. And JJ McCarthy is going to throw it. And Roman Wilson's going to catch it at like almost in line with DH right here. Where if we follow it down all the way over here, and you can't actually see it, but that's basically right in line with the numbers. So the pass that JJ McCarthy made here actually went to the right. It went this way, that way, when all of his momentum was taking him forward and a little bit to his left. This is an extraordinarily impressive throw. He delivers a strike here as well, aided by the fact that he was basically sprinting full speed forwards. But to be able to, A, escape shows how good of an athlete he is. But then, B, to be able to deliver a strike to his right while running forward and to the left a little bit is extraordinarily impressive. This is the best play that JJ McCarthy made all year. It is absolutely an impressive play. It's one of the more impressive plays that a quarterback can make in general. Now, if I ever do a video about Caleb Williams, you see like 30 of these every game. But Caleb Williams and JJ McCarthy are not anywhere close to each other in terms of being a prospect level. Caleb Williams is a generational talent. JJ McCarthy is like a really good player, okay? They're different levels here. So that's not the standard that JJ McCarthy should be held to. That was a little bit of a tangent here, but this is an extraordinarily impressive play to deliver this pass where it actually ends up going to the right when he was rolling to the left. Very, very, very impressive. So this is going to be the last play that we watch from the Nebraska film, but it's actually going to be two plays here. We're going to watch them back to back. On this play right here, JJ McCarthy is going to get pressured, and because of him getting pressured here, again, Ladarius Henderson, that's more on Blake Corum than it is on anything, but Ladarius Henderson's going to give up the pressure. JJ McCarthy is going to get hit as he's throwing the ball, and he's just going to sail it. And he's got no chance to catch that ball. No chance whatsoever. It goes over his head. It is what it is. It's a first down play. They were trying to catch him off guard by throwing on first down. And he just sails the ball a little bit. Now, hypothetically, that could have been an interception. It's an overthrow. You don't like it, but we're going to skip forward here a little bit. This play right here, JJ McCarthy is going to get pressure again, and he's going to stand in there and deliver a strike to the tight end on third down here. And right off the bat, he's open. You can tell he's open. He's going to be open. He's right here. JJ McCarthy's going to look at him, chuck the ball, even though he's kind of going backwards, which you don't want to see that, but you understand with the pressure here. It's going backwards, delivers the path. Colston Loveland, because he's very, very good, is going to make the linebacker miss and then go upfield and pick up the first down. But the difference between those two plays is that JJ McCarthy stood in there, took the hit, and delivered a strike. And there is not a lot of film of him doing that because his offensive line was so good this year and they ran the ball so much. This is not plentiful in his film. So having a few moments like this where he was getting pressure and stood in there, took the hit and delivered not just a catchable ball, but a ball that allowed the tight end to then make a move and pick up the first down is impressive. This is one of the better films that he has, is the Nebraska film. Moving on to the Rutgers film, this is one of the best pass defenses in college football. I think they ended up having, at the end of the regular season, the 10th best passing defense in the country. So this is a good film to look at for JJ McCarthy because they do have NFL players in the secondary, and the Rutgers defense is running an NFL scheme. Greg Schiano is good, so like he's a good football coach. And this is a step up in competition from what he had played previously. So we're going to look at the Rutgers film here. And this play right here, JJ McCarthy is just going to try to hit Colston Loveland on a little quick out route. And he's going to have not great ball placement, which is a theme with him on out-breaking routes. So you're going to see a quick pass here into Colston Loveland. Loveland actually runs a pretty decent route, and this is just bad location. A better player picks this off. In the NFL, this is a pick six. In the NFL, this guy right here, he jumps this route, picks it off, and takes it to the house. Okay, so this is a bad pass. Now, in college, it's not going to kill you, but JJ is good for one or two of these every game. Not misses, but genuine plays where if he was playing against better competition, it likely would have been an interception. So on this play right here, Michigan is going to do something that they really like doing. They didn't have film of it in this film, but Roman Wilson started up here. They're going to send him in motion. He's going to go up the field and then end up going this way on a little outbreaking route. This is widely regarded as one of the most difficult throws to make on a football field. And these sort of throws and things are not going to be something that an NFL offensive coordinator is going to call for JJ McCarthy a whole lot because he's wide open. He's wide open. And this is a theme with JJ. We've already seen it several times in this video. On these outbreaking routes, especially when they're across the field, college hashes are wider than in the NFL, but especially across the field, the accuracy becomes a major problem. And this pass isn't even close. It's like 5 yards away from him. It's like 2 yards behind him. It's going to land like right here, or it landed like right there. And he's like 3 yards away from him. It's 2 yards in front of him. So this is not great, and that is a theme with JJ McCarthy on the film. When you ask him to make these kinds of strong arm, big boy type of throws, so to speak, he just can't do it consistently. So on this play right here, JJ is going to get blitzed by this linebacker and this linebacker. They're going to play man coverage because they're blitzing here. And JJ is going to get hit while he throws and delivers a strike out here to Colston Loveland, who's going to just run a quick little out route here. It's going to be a good pass. Now, unfortunately, he is not running a route designed to pick up the first down. And given that had he run a route designed to pick up the first down, JJ would not have been able to get the ball off in time for him to complete the pass because of the pressure. So we're going to see here, they're going to get a free blitzer. Miles Hinton, rather, is going to just completely ignore the player that lined up in front of him. And JJ is going to get hit as he throws the ball, delivers a catchable ball to his tight end, Colston Loveland, who's going to come up about 2 yards short of the first down. And his route was not designed to pick up the first down on this play, but it was still impressive to see him deliver a catchable ball with good location away from the defensive player and away from another potential defensive player who was on the other side of Colston Loveland. Stand in there, delivered a strike, picked up enough to where you can have a serious conversation about whether or not you want to go for it on fourth down. So this play right here is a textbook back shoulder fade. It is excellent in terms of touch and location. And we're going to see here, you're going to see Samaj Morgan here at the bottom of your screen right here. He's just going to run a little slot fade here. And JJ McCarthy is going to recognize man-to-man. And he is going to put this ball in a place that is not only going to allow Samaj Morgan to catch it right here on the outside shoulder, the shoulder closest to the sideline, but also out of reach of the defender's hand. So the defender can try to reach in there and knock the ball out, but it's not going to work. This is excellent, not only wide receiver play by Samaj Morgan using his 5'8" body to block out the defender, but it's very, very good location by JJ McCarthy here. And you do see this in film every now and then with him, is just astonishingly good location. If you had seen it more consistently, I think there would be a lot less people talking about him as like not a first round guy. But you don't see it a whole lot. You see it every now and then. But on this play right here, it's excellent. This right here is the last play that we're going to watch from Rutgers. You're going to see Colston Loveland here. He's just going to run a little seam route. It's just a typical sort of shot play here. It's 1st and 10, and we're going to see Colston Loveland run down the field right on the seam, and JJ McCarthy is going to step into the throw and deliver an absolute strike to Colston Loveland. Steps up into the pocket, feels the pressure coming from his backside, steps into the throw. Again, good technique, good follow through. The ball's not a perfect spiral, but he's going to put it in a place where Colston Loveland can go up and catch it. Now he's got to use pretty much his whole frame here to go up and get it. But he's also protecting him from the big hit here. If he throws that inside here or tries to just drive it in to his chest, this defender right here is going to be able to get a bigger hit on him. This guy knows that I got a little messy there. This guy knows that if he hits him while he's in the air, it's 15 yards. So hypothetically, by actually putting him in what the early 2000s would be referred to as a hospital ball sort of situation, he's actually protecting him because the defense back knows that he can't really hit him like that. Falls to the ground, makes an excellent catch. Colston Loveland is going to be a very early pick in the 2025 NFL draft. But JJ McCarthy delivered a very, very good ball on this play right here. Moving on to the Ohio State film right here, we're going to start with this play right here. This is not a play that a lot of people are going to look at and say this isn't an impressive play here. You got Roman Wilson coming in motion. He's just going to go out here and run a little curl route, okay, or a flat route rather. And what you're going to see is JJ McCarthy recognize that he's open pretty much right away because they're playing so far back into the man coverage. And he's just going to get rid of the ball. It's 1st down. It's 1st down. So just get the ball out there. Delivers a catchable ball. Roman Wilson is actually going to put a little move here on number 10 and get to the outside a little bit. And he's going to pick up 8-9 yards. It's a good play. But even if 10 had played it a little bit more aggressively and gone up and tackled him, it's still a 5-yard gain on 1st down. This is excellent stuff from JJ McCarthy. Getting the ball out quickly, get into a rhythm, especially early on in the game. I think this is their 3rd possession of the game. And one of them was 4 plays that they ran 4 plays because of a turnover. So get into a little bit of a rhythm here, get the ball out quickly, and let your best playmaker make a play. So this play right here, you're going to see Colston Loveland run a little in route over here. And JJ is going to recognize that there's a blitz coming and get to his hot read, which is typically the inside receiver that's running an inside route, which is going to be Colston Loveland here. So he is going to recognize that there is the blitz coming, and then Colston Loveland is going to run that little in breaking route there. Play action. JJ's very good on play action. They're blitzing 3 extra people. Well, actually, it looks like Tommy Eichenberg is not blitzing. I thought he was blitzing, but delivers a pass that's maybe a tad bit high, but you're nitpicking there a little bit. It's a good enough pass to where Colston Loveland can just catch the ball and turn upfield. He's going to get another 6, 7, 8 yards on this play. That had a worse pass, or had it been a worse pass, rather, he likely doesn't get. So it's a good location on the pass, and then JJ McCarthy delivers a strike, steps into it, doesn't get rattled by the pressure, delivers the ball, and it's a big play. This play is the touchdown to Roman Wilson, where JJ McCarthy threads the needle and throws a touchdown to Roman Wilson. So on this play, Roman Wilson is going to come across the middle over here. It's going to give JJ a man-to-man read, which is half true and half false. And then after Roman Wilson runs over here, he's going to run across the middle of the field. This is the guy that the defense is hoping intercepts this pass, because that's what the defense is designed to do on this play. The defense is hoping that they try to run a man-beater route over the middle, and then the secondary player, this strong safety right here, will then be able to jump the route and pick it off and make a play. And that's honestly what should have happened. I kind of didn't really want to talk about this throw right here, because while it is a good throw, it's, to me, more about bad defense than it is about good offense. Because you're going to see here, this strong safety right here, this guy right here for Ohio State, he's just going to decide all of a sudden to not play zone coverage. If he keeps his eye on the football and JJ McCarthy, this is like an interception and maybe a pick six. So that's a completely game-changing play that's more about bad defense than it is about good offense to me. If this kid plays defense at a higher level and stays disciplined instead of deciding to play man coverage 90% through the play, then I think this is probably an interception, and people are kind of like, oh, he got under pressure and became rattled and threw a ball that he shouldn't have thrown. But that's just me. And as the name of the channel is, what do I know? I'm just some asshole. So if you think this is a spectacular, impressive play, fine. I don't. I think it's kind of a play where he kind of got lucky. So moving on from that, this right here is one of those plays where JJ McCarthy puts it all together. And on this play, the pre-snap read is zone. You can kind of tell by this guy who's looking at the quarterback and also this guy who's looking at the quarterback. Safeties are pretty much always going to be looking at the quarterback, even if they're playing man coverage. So you can't really get a whole lot of beat on them. But the corners are pretty much only going to be looking at the quarterback when it's zone coverage. So the pre-snap read on this is zone coverage. And JJ can also tell by formation that he is likely going to jump to the curl flat. He is also over here likely going to jump to the curl flat. And Tommy Eichenberg, who's a very good linebacker, is kind of going to have to split the difference between the two of them. And he knows he's got his tight end just on a little curl route right here. So JJ is going to deliver a pass to the tight end. The tight end is going to make a move, pick up more yardage, and this is a good throw. Delivers a strike right at the face, into the hand. Tommy Eichenberg overplays it a tad bit, and then Colston Loveland makes a miss, gets upfield, picks up 15 to 20 yards or so before he is tackled. Very, very good throw. But more importantly than that, it shows that he understands the pre-snap read and that he understood his play, which earlier on in the year, I called him out for not understanding that. But this is the last game of the regular season. That's what you call growth. So that's a good thing. When you see a quarterback grow from the first game to the last game, which JJ McCarthy does do, as we've already shown here, that is a big indicator that he is someone who could be successful at the next level, because you have 2 years of him getting better pretty much from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. He undoubtedly in 2022 got better from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, and this year he got a little bit better over the offseason, but then got quite a bit better as the season went on. So seeing that he does improve over time is a very, very encouraging thing for JJ McCarthy as a prospect. So on this play right here, McCarthy is going to, admittedly a little bit late, hit the tight end that is on motion on the top of the screen here. You can only really see his feet right here. That's Colston Loveland. He's going to come in and run a little slant route here. And JJ is going to read this a little less quickly than you would like to, but he is still going to read it correctly and deliver a strike to pick up the first down. So Colston Loveland's coming in over here on motion. You're going to see A.J. Barner run up the field. Ohio State's playing this little off man coverage here, real soft man zone combo kind of thing here. And Colston Loveland is going to beat Steel Chambers across his face, because Colston Loveland against any linebacker pretty much in the country is going to be a mismatch. And JJ McCarthy, typically you would like the ball to be gone by this point, because hypothetically, if Tommy Eichenberg had decided to jump over here as opposed to Roman Wilson, it could have been a play. But now JJ McCarthy probably would have noticed that he was coming over here and then try to hit Roman Wilson over the middle and that sort of situation. But you would like him to recognize this faster. But he throws the ball. It's down low. Maybe if it was a little bit upper, he would have had a better chance to do something after the catch, but that's nitpicky. And delivers a strike and a catchable ball in a big spot. We're halfway through the third quarter. We're almost two-thirds of the way through the fourth quarter here, or through the third quarter rather, and now they're getting it going. They're at midfield. They've got some momentum to go and keep the drive going. So let's play right here. There's not a whole lot to draw on the screen or anything. I'm going to play at full speed as well, because I kind of want to show you full speed on this play right here. Basically, JJ McCarthy is going to get the ball to play action. He gets pressure pretty quickly. There's nobody immediately open. He could dump it off to Roman Wilson, but the pressure kind of forces him to go out of the pocket here. But he's going to roll out and realize that there ain't nobody here. And he's also going to recognize that both of these Ohio State guys right here, overplayed their angle. And JJ McCarthy is the kind of athlete to be able to make him pay for that. He's going to go for it, and then most importantly, he's going to slide. He's going to get down. But even better, he goes head first. So they're not going to hit him. This guy's not going to hit him. He's giving himself up. But you also keep the yardage that your momentum sliding on the ground gives you. If he had gone feet first, the ball would have been back like right here. So that's like 3 or 4 yards. And in a game this tight, that's a big deal. So that is a good coaching point by the Michigan football staff to get him to dive head first on this sort of play here. Moving on to the Alabama film here. On this play, you're going to get a little designed little play action here with Blake Corum. Blake Corum is then going to come out here and block, and we're going to get a designed little rollout here. Roman Wilson on this play is just going to go over field and run a route like this. Cornelius Johnson right here, he's going to go out and do his own thing. And on this play, this is the first play of the game, JJ's going to make a not very good play here. Little designed rollout here. Roman Wilson's open. Roman Wilson is wide open. I don't really understand why he doesn't throw the football right here. He's looking directly at him. The defender has already made his choice to go around Cornelius Johnson, who's just off screen over here. But this, I think, is an example of JJ's lack of anticipation on a lot of throws, which is one of the most important qualities that a quarterback has to have. And it's also not one that I can think of an example where somebody got better at anticipating routes coming open or players breaking or coming open towards the end of their route or at the right time That's not really something you see quarterbacks improve on, really. And that not having that is kind of a big knock against JJ. So instead of throwing to the open Roman Wilson at the bottom or on the right side of the screen, we're going to extend the play out. We're going to keep extending the play out. We're going to run backwards, and we're going to throw the football, not to Roman Wilson, who's wide open in the middle of the screen, still, and also not out of bounds to save the down. We're instead going to throw it to Caleb Downs for no reason at all. Now, JJ got lucky that this wasn't actually an interception because Caleb Downs, in order to slow down and stop himself from running out of bounds, accidentally stepped out of bounds. So he was an ineligible player. He could not touch the football, and this ended up not being an interception. But it was pretty obvious to me that JJ came into this game rattled, that he was not prepared mentally to be at the Rose Bowl playing Alabama. Now, he did settle down later on and started to actually play really, really well. But coming out of the gate, shook like he was, is not a good look. So on this play right here, JJ McCarthy is going to realize that his initial read isn't there. He's going to pull the ball down, roll to his left, and find Khalil Mullings, his running back, down the field on a sort of scramble drill sort of scenario. So let's go ahead and start the play here. JJ snaps the ball, fakes the handoff, successfully delays the pass rush a little bit with the fake. However, Alabama pass rush still going to get home. Michigan gets away with a little bit of a hold right here, but it is what it is. JJ rolls out to his left, and he is going to see that Khalil Mullings comes open and delivers a very catchable ball straight to Khalil Mullings, who does a toe tap on the sideline. This is a good play. He rolls out to his left as a right-handed quarterback, which is hard to do, delivers a catchable ball. So basically, this was the play in this game where I kind of knew JJ was fully healthy again for the first time. And he also is now just making a lot of plays, and we're going to see that more often in this game than we did in the later half of the season after the Penn State game. So on this play right here, we're going to see a lot of growth out of JJ McCarthy, and part of the reason why I said that he really improved as the season went on is plays like this. So on this play right here, they're going to send Roman Wilson on a little blitz over here, or a motion over here. And then he's eventually going to hit Samaj Morgan as his hot read, because the hot read is usually whoever of the first inside guys, him or Cornelius Johnson, is running an in-breaking route. And Cornelius Johnson is running an in-breaking route, but it's a deeper in-breaking route. So the hot read on this case is going to be Samaj Morgan. But what are we looking at pre-snap here? Well, pre-snap, we're looking at press man, and we can tell it's man because both of these corners around here that are both going to be first-round picks are looking at the wide receivers, not at JJ McCarthy. So we think it's man coverage, and there's also 5 people, 5 defensive linemen right around the ball. So we're going to keep Donovan Edwards in to block. That's what we're going to do on this play here. But as we start it, the second the ball is snapped, the linebacker also blitzes. So now this becomes really a super hot read. And JJ McCarthy is going to put this ball exactly where it needs to be. This ball is perfectly located. Samaj Morgan has to use his whole 5'7" frame in order to reach out and grab that ball, and his body is keeping the defensive back from being able to get at it. So this is extraordinarily good ball placement. Now, JJ is still inconsistent with his ball placement. However, he is less inconsistent than he was earlier on in the year. And plays like this show just how much he's grown in this scenario. Now, Samaj Morgan is going to be able to break a tackle here, and he's going to get 8 yards when they needed 9. Had this been not a tie ball game, I think there's probably a pretty good chance Michigan goes for it here. But this is a tie ball game, and they trust their defense, so they're not going to go for it. But it is now, because of an excellent throw by JJ McCarthy, a discussion that you have to have. So you remember earlier on in the video, towards the beginning, where I talked about JJ McCarthy with good technique is going to be able to drive the ball into some tighter windows. It just so happens that the play that I was showing you, because the technique was so good, he didn't actually have to drive the ball into a tighter window. Well, on this play, he has to drive the ball into a tight window. So the basic concept here is that they're going to hit Colston Loveland over here on an in-breaking route. They are going to snap the ball, which is already snapped. JJ is going to fake the ball because Donovan Edwards is going to come over here, and it's going to be kind of a pitch play or something like that. And that's what they're going to fake. And that's going to get both freshman Deontay Lawson and freshman Caleb Downs to bite on the run fake. And that is going to open up the passing lane that JJ McCarthy is going to throw the ball into. So you see the hesitation out of the linebacker right here. And you see Caleb Downs go up towards the ball. And bam, there's the hole. I'm going to rifle it in there. We're actually going to back up just a tad bit here. Right at the apex of the throw. Whoops. Right at the apex of the throw. And what do we see here? Foot. Ball. Good alignment. And arm angle is solid. He's going to gun this in there. A little bit tall, but it doesn't matter that much because possession receiver. And this is going to be very, very good tape and is going to kind of show teams that JJ McCarthy can do this when necessary, even though you're probably not going to want to ask him to do this a whole lot. So simply for the sake of time, we're pretty much only going to look at this play and one more play from the Alabama tape, and then we're going to move into Washington because I do really want to talk about a few plays from Washington, and this video is getting very long. So we're going to talk about this real quick. So on this play, JJ McCarthy is going to hit Tyler Morris right here, a guy who's caught like 4 passes the entire season on a little crossing route because he's one-on-one with Deontay Lawson. That is a massive mismatch. He identifies it, and he knows that it's man coverage. This is growth out of JJ McCarthy here. Because what's the pre-snap read? Look what Arnold is doing down here. He's looking at JJ McCarthy. Look what Kool-Aid McKinstry is doing right here. He's looking at JJ McCarthy. This would indicate traditionally that they're doing zone coverage. That's not what they're doing. They're doing man coverage. So we snap the ball. And they instantly shift into man coverage. JJ McCarthy is going to have good pass protection, flings the ball with excellent location. It's a little bit blurry, but the ball is right here. And Tyler Morris is going to be able to turn and run up the field. And, of course, he does because he's faster than a linebacker, and also he has a better angle than Jalen Key, number 6 for Alabama, and he is going to be able to fight his way into the end zone, which doesn't happen if that ball placement is not adequate. If that ball placement isn't good, then JJ McCarthy is going to potentially lead Tyler Morris into getting tackled from behind by Deontay Lawson, or by throwing it too far in forward. He might have to dive to catch the ball or something like that, but he doesn't do that. He delivers a very accurate ball that allows Tyler Morris to turn up the field and run and score a touchdown. So this is the last play for Alabama tape that we're going to watch here. There were a couple other plays that I probably could have talked about, but this one I think is more interesting. And this, I think, more than any other run play from JJ McCarthy that we've talked about, really illuminates why I think his legs in the run game are going to be a factor at the next level. So you're going to see Blake Corum right up here at the top. He's going to come into motion, and JJ is going to fake the ball to him, pull it, wait for it to develop, and then hit the hole and get a big gain. So we're going to snap it. Blake Corum's going in motion at the top of the screen. JJ's going to snap it. He's going to fake the handoff. He's going to get into the thick of it, waits for it to develop, then hits the jet. Now, a big part of this is Jalen Key, who's not very good, honestly. Does not take a great angle on JJ McCarthy here. But JJ McCarthy is fast. Like, he's for real fast. And he's also going to get tackled late here. But they didn't call it, so I guess it doesn't particularly matter. This play against an SEC defense with multiple first-round picks on it and legitimate NFL caliber players right now in terms of, like, this year's draft, to be able to outrun some of them and look like you belong on the field is a big deal. Moving on to the Washington tape in the national championship game. This is the first play that we're going to look at with JJ McCarthy. On this play, we got a little motion coming across over here that's going to cause the linebacker to bump out a little bit, because this play is actually going to go to Cornelius Johnson, who's running a little curl route right over here. Now, also on this play, future first-round pick Braylon Trice right here is going to beat Ladarius Henderson with a little inside move, and Trevor Keegan is going to be late helping him, so he's going to supply pressure. JJ McCarthy is going to be unable to step fully into this throw, but he's still going to deliver it on time with good location, and that is going to allow Cornelius Johnson here. See, he can't get his feet set. His feet aren't set. This is pretty much just arm, and he's going to throw the ball right into Cornelius Johnson, who's going to turn upfield and pick up the first down. This is a good play to get JJ going, because he is someone, as we talked about in the Alabama tape, that maybe can come into big games a little bit rattled. So getting him going here with an easy play, even though it was pressure, was a good start to this game. Now, on this play right here, JJ McCarthy is going to show one area of the game where he really hasn't kind of improved all that much. So on this play, JJ right here is going to turn around, fake the handoff to Blake Corum. They're trying to get a hard play action to get these super fast linebackers to come up and then throw something behind them. And it doesn't really work. So we're going to snap the ball here. They do come up, but that first read isn't open. And we can tell he's looking down the field by looking at his head. He's looking over the middle of the field. He's looking for something down the field over here, and he's trying to find somebody that's open. However, he never attempts to make another read on this play. Right now, he's got time, and he's going to step up into the pocket to get a little bit of time. However, a part of JJ McCarthy's game that isn't very good, however, I do think it's fixable and perhaps fairly easily fixable, is when the first read isn't there and he isn't in scramble mode, he kind of just gets himself into trouble. So as this play goes down, boom, now he's not looking downfield. Now he's looking at the line. Now his eyes right here, right here, right here. He's going to come back around to over here. And now he's in trouble. Now I'm just going to sit there. There's no readily apparent escape option, so I'm just going to take the sack. And it's not the worst thing that he could do in this situation, because there were times, specifically with the Bowling Green game, where instead of taking a sack, he threw the ball up, and it didn't end well. But so I guess you could say that that's a little bit of growth here, but if the escape route is not readily available for JJ McCarthy, he does kind of struggle to navigate the pocket, and he does struggle to move off of the first read to his second or third read when he is under pressure. So on this play right here, we're going to see JJ McCarthy at his best. So you got JJ here. He's going to turn around and hard fake the ball to Blake Corum. And at this point, they've already been gashed in the run game pretty severely. So the safety right here is going to come up and bite hard on the play action, and Roman Wilson is going to come across the field and run behind him, and this is going to be a big, big gain. So let's go ahead and start it. Here comes the play action to Blake Corum. You see the safety, all of the linebackers, everybody, they're coming up, and they're particularly slow to react to this. JJ is going to deliver a very good ball to Roman Wilson, who's going to catch it and turn upfield. This is a big game. It is very, very good ball placement, an excellent play call, and a great read by JJ McCarthy. Jumping much later into the ball game here, because this was not a game about JJ McCarthy and his ability to throw the football. That was last week against Alabama, or at least the previous game against Alabama. Here on this play, we're going to see a lot of good from JJ McCarthy in terms of his ability to scramble, but also a lot of bad out of JJ McCarthy. So we're going to watch this right here. They're going to fake a blitz and then back off. Donovan Edwards is going to come in and block, but we can see already JJ McCarthy is not looking downfield. There's nobody near him. His eyes are right here. He's looking for a place to escape. I don't believe this was a designed play. So I think this was a scramble. And JJ McCarthy is going to tuck the ball, find his hole finally, and just accelerate. Because again, he's really, really fast. Anybody discounting his athleticism is lying to you. This is someone where offensive coordinators at the next level are going to be able to design run plays for, and they will be effective. And you see a lot of the jitteriness there. It was 3rd and 8. They hadn't particularly been very good on 3rd down this game. And you did see him struggle to complete passes for a large segment of this game. Pretty much he was good in the first quarter and he was good in the fourth quarter. And pretty much between that, he wasn't very good. But this play right here found the lane and found a way to get a massive gain on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. This is the last play of the Washington game and the last play that we're going to break down from JJ McCarthy here. And this was also in a game that was very much about Michigan's ability to run the football, the turning point and the play of the game, in my opinion. So on this play right here, you're going to see JJ McCarthy fake the ball to Blake Corum, and Colston Loveland is going to sneak behind the defense here, catch a absolute strike from JJ McCarthy, turn up the field, and get a big, huge gain to put Michigan in field goal range. Now, they would score a touchdown and put the game on ice. But you see here, this is layered excellently out of JJ McCarthy. This is out of the reach of the hands of the linebacker, and it is not too tall that Colston Loveland is not going to be able to go up and get it. So Colston Loveland is going to go up and get it. The safety right here misplays this ball terribly. And then Colston Loveland is now in the open field running to the end zone and to secure Michigan a national championship, basically. The second Michigan got within field goal range, I think this game was pretty much over. And, like, not just field goal range, like chip shot field goal range. They were at the 30-yard line after this play. So Michigan, the second this became a 2-score game, won the game because that's how good their defense was. But JJ McCarthy layered that pass excellently. And because of that, it allowed Colston Loveland to turn up the field and not quite score, but put them in scoring position. So to sort of wrap up and conclude this video here, I'm going to give JJ McCarthy a tier and a grade. A quick explanation is a grade is on a pretty much a, like 75 to 100 sort of scale, and 100 is basically the 100th percentile, meaning that you are the best player at that position, or at least the best prospect at that position that I have ever seen, and anything lower than that is how close you are to that top ranked prospect. So we'll get to the grade officially later on at the end of this. However, that is what a grade is. A tier is where in the draft I would feel comfortable drafting you. So, for example, someone with a top 20 grade, I would feel comfortable drafting them between the 11th pick of the draft and the 20th pick of the draft, because the tier above them is the top 10, meaning that I would be comfortable taking that player in the top 10. So that's basically what a tier and a grade is. So let's sort of wrap up JJ McCarthy here with sort of starting off with the negatives. The biggest one is that he was not asked to do a whole lot. And I want to make it very, very clear. There is a difference between doesn't do something and can't do something. However, I do struggle to do anything other than project him to making those NFL style throws. We don't know if he can do it or not. Now, luckily, there's pro days and the NFL scouting combine, and we can kind of see him make some more NFL-ish type of throws and can kind of figure out a little bit more than that. Now, obviously, a coach with higher access is going to be able to see more of him and better delineate his potential to make NFL-style throws. However, I don't get to do that. So I kind of have to just project here in terms of what I think he can do, and I do think that there will be some limitations based off of his physical arm talent. He did struggle beyond the first read quite a bit, which is probably the biggest reason why I don't think he can start year one. If he had shown the ability to progress past the first read more consistently and against better competition, then I would feel a little bit more comfortable kind of throwing him into the fire. But right now, I do not feel comfortable with him doing that. I already talked about the average arm strength a little bit here. Footwork and technique could use some work. There's just a couple of inconsistencies here. He does get happy feet quite a bit when he is under pressure, so that needs to be worked on a little bit. And the next biggest thing is, what is the upside with him? And I'm not sure that there is tier 1 quarterback in the NFL upside with him. In fact, I'm pretty confident that there isn't tier 1 NFL upside quarterback. That's like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, like legitimate MVP caliber play. I don't think that is JJ McCarthy's upside. I genuinely don't. However, could he be someone that's like that middle of tier 2 sort of play where you're like, yeah, he's really good, but can he take a team over the hump? I think that's a reasonable question to ask about his upside. I think that's a reasonable position to put his upside as well, but they're effectively the same thing. They're not really using Colston Loveland and AJ Barner in different ways. They're just pretty much doing the same thing, I guess, except against Michigan State, which was film that I decided to not look at for this video. And the last thing that I want to talk about here is leadership qualities. Now, obviously, I don't know him. I haven't spoken to him in my entire life. So I don't know if he is the leader that people have spoken about him as. However, generally speaking, people don't talk about JJ McCarthy or about anybody like this without it being truthful. And the way that people talk about JJ McCarthy makes me think he's going to interview very, very well. That even though he is very raw, his type of interviewing style and the work ethic and the fact that he did improve so greatly from the beginning of the year to the end of the year is all pointing to coaches and teams being willing to perhaps take him higher than maybe the film and the other things surrounding him as a prospect might indicate that he should go. Now, I think a little bit higher on him than the consensus. I think most people have him as like a second or third round guy. I know that on r/NFL draft on Reddit, there's like a post every 3 seconds talking about how the hell is JJ McCarthy getting talked about in the first round. He's a day 3 pick. You just don't know how teams evaluate quarterbacks, and that's not your fault because it's a hard thing to know. But I think JJ McCarthy, and specifically his personality and his leadership qualities and the work ethic, is going to get him drafted very high because teams are going to be willing to bank off of the fact that he does have all of the intangibles and enough physical talent for him to become a pretty good starter in the NFL. So I do think that even though he is not someone who can come in and play right away, I do think there are going to be teams that are going to be willing to draft him in the first round. The final thing for JJ McCarthy to talk about, obviously, is his tier and his grade. I have his tier as top 40. And basically what that means is that I would feel comfortable taking him from pick 21 to pick 40. And generally speaking, quarterbacks where you can't play them right away, but do have good quality upside and intangibles, but just are not ready to play right now. Project QBs, basically, and that's what JJ McCarthy is. Those types of guys tend to go in that back half of the first round or in the early second round, like a Will Levis or a Jordan Love are two good examples. And my grade for him is 97.4, which puts him at 21st on my all-time grade list, sandwiched between Drew Lock and Josh Allen. Now, I don't know if he's going to go in the first round. I don't even know if he's going to go in the second round because his tape, honestly, to me, the tape says like top 75, maybe even top 100 grade, which is like early third to late third. So I wouldn't surprise me if he fell to the later end of day 2, but I do think that he has a realistic chance to go in the first round. But that's just me, and what do I know? I'm just some asshole on the internet giving you his opinion. To this point, I'd like to thank you for watching and remind you to like, comment, and subscribe. And now, with the outro out of the way, there's only one thing left to say, and that's that I'll see you next time.